It is freezing out there today. I think the thermometer in my car said it was 19 degrees in the drive over here.
Welcome to winter in Columbus, Ohio. The sky is completely gray, and it feels like the sun hasn't been out for a week.
I actually needed 3 cups of coffee just to wake up this morning. But sitting here in this coffee shop, I overheard a conversation that made me think of you.
Oh, what did you hear?
There was a professional-looking guy, clearly an English learner, talking to his manager. He asked, "Do you want any help with that report?" And the manager gave him a really strange look.
I understand exactly why. That is a perfect example of how the smallest words create the biggest misunderstandings.
Right. We are talking about words like some, any, and only. They seem like basic grammar, but they carry so much psychological weight.
They do. For a lot of adult learners working here in the U.S., the real pain is not failing a grammar test. It is the fear of sounding rude or uneducated in a Monday morning meeting.
That is exactly it. I have friends who stay awake at night, replaying conversations in their heads, worrying if they offended their boss just because they chose the wrong word.
It is exhausting. The mental energy it takes to translate your thoughts while also worrying about the social impact of those words is huge.
So let us break it down for them. Let us look at some and any first. What is the standard rule everyone learns?
The basic rule is that we use some in positive sentences and we use any in questions and negative sentences.
For example, I have some friends in Ohio versus I do not have any friends in Ohio.
Exactly. If you ask a question based on the textbook, you say, "Do you have any friends in Ohio?" That is the foundation.
But that foundation breaks when they enter the real world, especially when they are trying to be polite, like the guy I saw earlier.
Right, because in American culture, particularly in places like the Midwest where hospitality is very important, we actually use some in questions when we are making an offer.
So if I host a dinner party, I should ask, "Would you like some coffee?" Not, "Would you like any coffee?"
Yes. If you ask, "Would you like any coffee?" it almost sounds like you hope they say no. It sounds like giving them coffee is a burden to you.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. You are telling them, unconsciously, that you do not want to serve them.
There is actually research on linguistic pragmatics about this. When native speakers hear some in an offer, they register a positive expectation. The brain processes it as a warm invitation.
That is a great counterintuitive fact. We think it is just grammar, but it is actually about human connection and warmth.
Exactly. And the same rule applies when you are asking for something. If you want a glass of water, you say, "Can I have some water?"
If I say, "Can I have any water?" it sounds desperate. It sounds like I have been walking in a desert for 3 days.
Yes, it implies there is a severe shortage. In an office setting, if you say, "Do you have any time for me?" it sounds like the other person is avoiding you.
That brings us back to the guy I saw earlier. He said, "Do you want any help with that report?" He made his manager feel like the task was a crisis.
Precisely. He should have said, "Do you want some help with that report?" That sounds supportive. It shows teamwork.
It is fascinating how a 4-letter word can change the entire tone of your professional relationship.
Now, let us talk about a situation where any is the perfect word to use. Sometimes we use any in positive sentences.
Wait, you just said we use some for positive sentences. Are we breaking the rules again?
We are expanding them. When any means it does not matter which one, we use it in positive sentences.
Like when a manager says, "If you have any questions, please email me."
Yes, that means there is no limit. Big questions, small questions, stupid questions, all are welcome. Any in this context removes boundaries.
I see. So any can actually be a very welcoming word if used correctly. It means the door is wide open.
Exactly. You can say to a client, "You can call me at any time." It builds immense trust because you are offering unlimited access.
That makes total sense. Now, let us add the third piece to this puzzle, the word only.
Only is a word of limitation. But it is tricky because where you place it in a sentence changes the meaning entirely.
Give me an example. How bad can it be if I put it in the wrong spot?
Listen to these two sentences. I only told the manager about the error versus I told only the manager about the error.
They sound very similar, but I feel a subtle difference.
I only told the manager implies that telling him was the only action you took. You did not fix the error. You did not write a report. You just spoke.
And I told only the manager means the manager is the exclusive person who knows. You kept it a secret from the rest of the team.
Yes. If there is a massive problem with a client account and you use the wrong only, your boss might think you did nothing to solve it.
That is terrifying. People think their accent is holding them back from a promotion, but really, it might be the placement of the word only.
It sounds harsh, but communication is everything in the U.S. job market. Clarity creates trust. Confusion creates hesitation.
So how do we practice this? I do not want our listeners to freeze up the next time they walk into the office.
The best way is to stop translating word for word in your head. Learn phrases in chunks. Associate some with a smile and any with an open hand.
I like that visual. Some is an offering, a smile. Would you like some water? It feels warm.
And any is open, unlimited. Call me if you need any help. No limits.
Let us put all three words together in a real conversation. Imagine we are colleagues working on a tight deadline.
Okay, I will start. Alex, do we have any updates from the client?
Yes, I have some feedback from them. They only want us to change the final budget numbers.
That was perfect. You used some feedback because it is positive and specific, and only want limits their request.
It feels natural when you practice it like a complete thought, rather than a math equation of grammar rules.
And remember, if you make a mistake, do not panic. Native speakers misplace only all the time. The context usually saves you.
That is a relief. The goal is connection, not perfection. You do not need perfect English to be respected in Ohio or anywhere else.
Exactly. You just need the confidence to keep speaking. If you say, I do not have some time, correct yourself quickly to any time and move on.
This has been an incredibly valuable conversation, Jordan. I think a lot of people are going to walk into work tomorrow feeling much lighter.
I hope so. Remember, small words have big power, but you are the one in control.